exactly do we turn global risks into global opportunities? And here to share with us their knowledge on how to do that and to build the opportunity mindset are Marianne Haar and David Walker. Now, both have developed the Global Opportunity Report, which on one side is a report that outlines how global risks can be transformed into opportunities for sustainable business, and on the other side is proof of the new mindset needed to achieve the SDGs. So, I'd like to welcome David Walker onto the stage. David is the Group Chief Development Officer at DNVGL, and he'll be illustrating the importance of business engagement in the SDGs and how DNVGL has been finding opportunities in this space. Please also welcome Marianne Haar, Project Director at the Global Opportunity Network, who will talk to us about risks and opportunities. How do we build that opportunity mindset that will allow us to find those opportunities in the risks that so many of us fear? How do we actually transform risks into opportunities? David and Marianne will help us answer these key questions. So please, welcome them with all your heart and be connected. David and Marianne, please. Knock 'em dead, knock 'em dead, knock 'em dead.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here today. And I'd like to thank, on behalf of my company, DNVGL, the Global Compact for this opportunity to talk, as Henry just mentioned, about how we convert risk into opportunities. Now, DNVGL has been part of the Global Compact for about 15 years, but last year we produced, in collaboration with them, a very important report called Impact. I hope some of you have read that report because I know the Compact has sent out something like 10,000 copies across the world in 3 different languages. Now, the first 2 parts of that report were something of a report card as how we, all as members of the Compact, had contributed during its lifetime to making our planet more sustainable. But the last third of the report talks about pathways to the future. Now, those pathways we know will be littered with risks and challenges. And indeed, those challenges are amplified every year in a report produced by the World Economic Forum in Davos. That report talks about the risks that keep our business leaders, our political leaders awake at night. It's a tsunami of risks that they see in front of them. Well, DNVGL, with its partner Monday Morning and the Global Compact, decided we need to take that process one step further. We need to think, how do we convert those risks into opportunities? Opportunities for business that they can contribute to mitigating those risks. And so in 2015, we produced the first Global Opportunity Report. And then in 2016, we produced the second version. And this, in addition to addressing the risks, also looked at opportunities to address the SDGs at the same time. So, how did we do that? Well, we created a number of workshops across the world, and we selected 5 risks each year that we wanted them to address. And those workshops included almost 400 people from different avenues, from academia, entrepreneurs, investors, from businesses, government, civil servants. And they came up with a long list of opportunities that could address the 5 risks that we had chosen for that year. We then surveyed nearly 6,000 business people to see, of those opportunities, what would be of interest to them, opportunities that were therefore pragmatic, that were practical, that could be implemented in a timely fashion. And then we collected those and we published them in the reports. Now, I want to take a short time here just to introduce 3 of the opportunities just as examples, give you a flavor, because in total now, out of the 2 reports, there are 240 opportunities listed that may be of interest to you and your companies. So the first opportunity I want to address is in the ocean space, and that's very relevant for my company because we were formed about 150 years ago to make sure that ships were designed, built, and operated safely. We then moved into the energy space and most recently into life sciences. So let me tie our natural environment. We often say that DNVGL has salt water in its veins with life sciences. And talk about one of the opportunities that's addressed, which is around using the oceans to help develop innovative medicines. Now, almost 50%, or just over 50% of the organic mass in the oceans is actually microbial. And what's been found by scientists is that some of those microbes have fantastic properties that can be used in medicines and pharmaceutical industry. For instance, one tiny sponge has recently been found to have great antiviral and potentially anti-cancer properties. So the opportunity is, how do we get companies from research institutes, from startups to the major biotech and pharma companies using those microbes as potential feedstocks to develop new medicine, health for all as an SDG, but at the same time do that in a responsible manner and protect life underwater. That's one opportunity in one of the reports. Already today, Dr. Wang has talked about the mobile revolution, and I think, as many of you will recognize, many countries in the developing world have leapfrogged over the use of landlines and gone directly to the use of mobile phones that now farmers can get access in those countries to weather information on when to sow, when to water, when to fertilize, when to harvest their crops to maximize the yield. The unfortunate thing is that between 30% and 40% of those crops rot before they get to market due to poor refrigeration. Think also of the fishermen that go to sea in many of those countries. They land their catch, and although if they don't sell it locally and have to sell it to an inland market, because of poor refrigeration, their fish rot before they get to market. So one of the opportunities in the report, again, maybe more focused on a local solution, is combining a number of technologies. It's combining, we already heard about photovoltaic solar, where the price is dropping dramatically. Combining that with battery storage, which is on a similar cost curve, with recent advantages in refrigeration, to cool in a green way the value chain that will enable those crops, that fish, to get to market and be preserved, so helping eradicate hunger and at the same time providing sustainable livelihoods to those farmers and fishermen. That's another example. That is a Cold War I believe we can win. The third example I would give you is related to climate change. Now, we're all aware that more than 50% of the world's population live in cities. Many of those are coastal cities. Many of those cities are exposed to major extreme weather events driven by climate change that are occurring more frequently and becoming more intense. The perfect picture, in my mind always when I think of this, was right here in New York. And I'm sure you've all seen the picture where half of Manhattan is blacked out and the other half still has light after Hurricane Sandy. So the opportunity it talks about addresses infrastructure, addresses cities, it addresses climate change, is building barriers, adaptation technology to prevent the storm surges from those extreme events reaching into the world's major cities. And as Henry just said, if we can build it to protect Manhattan, if we can build it here, we can build it anywhere, and not just in New York, New York. You stole my line. But those are just three examples. Again, they're the civil engineering companies, the cities, everyone can get involved. So the opportunity reports have very practical examples. And really what we'd like you to do is take an opportunity mindset into the workshops this afternoon. We'd like you to look at the reports which are available either in hard copy or, of course, online, and look at those and take that mindset into your boards, into your leadership teams, and think about becoming opportunity leaders. To talk about how to do that, I'd like to hand over to Marianne. Thank you.